If there's one thing I love to do, it's journal. It's got to be one of my favorite pastimes. It's a great indulgence. It's a fun little thing to de-stress at the end of the day. And I would say it's probably one of the more kind of least expensive little things that people can indulge in. A little hobby, something that's kind of paralleling, other creative endeavors like painting or drawing, but doesn't have to be any of those things. It can also be writing, it can be photography. It's very, very nice. I love to journal. I especially love to buy things to journal, including the journals themselves, the washi tape, the stickers from small shops, the stickers from Barnes and Noble. I mean, I love to just collect things. It gives me a great excuse. Now, that being said, I do want to talk about something that I think is happening everywhere, but especially comes to mind when it comes to conversations I'm seeing on my TikTok and YouTube algorithm, which is overconsumption. Something most people do, myself included, specifically overconsumption as it is in the journaling community. I think that as far as overconsumption goes within the journaling community, it's one of the more acceptable versions of it, in that if you buy a journal or a cover or a pen or whatever, then as long as you have it, you can use it. It doesn't expire. They can be bulky, but they don't stack up in the way that like a reusable water bottle does. But they are meant to be used. Thankfully, they are again something that doesn't expire, and there's something that at some point is meant to be finished. So there is a reason to have maybe a few, or even an ecosystem. Like you can have a few at one time for different reasons. Like you could have a junk journal, a diary, a scrapbook with photos. Like that's all fine and good, and it's great for creating memories and having something tangible. However, I do think that overconsumption has begun to have its claws more securely in the community in every way that it's touched every community, from those that love books, to water, to accessories, to makeup, to everything. And I think this is due to a number of factors that no one person is like fully responsible for, and rather something that, again, many people participate in. For one, it's a trend. So some people are posting about journaling and it's awesome and they make cute spreads, and there's a level of aesthetic appeal to having a journal that you can write in. You can imagine yourself as somebody from ye olden days, as soon as, maybe the 2000s or 90s, if you imagine yourself as a kind of read and weep girl, or Diaries of a Shopaholic, or Clueless. Or you can imagine yourself as a more Regency era type character like Elizabeth Bennet. However, this trend, like many trends, becomes people's hyperfixation in a kind of community shopping spree where hauls become the norm and more people buy trending products or brands. And of course, companies answer the call to an audience that wants more. So a lot more gets mass produced, sometimes extremely cheaply with a lot of AI so that it can hit the shelves as quick as possible, and bought on all fronts, from washi tape to stickers to journals. And again, it's something that most people do in some way. And life is hard. We all need our little treats and vices, and it's pretty cool when there are more affordable options for some luxury goods, like when people started buying these kind of Louise Carmen dupes that were getting released, or even better, making their own. And companies started to make more varied sticker books and more varied products for different price ranges, which is awesome. It's great to get these kind of things in the hand of people who otherwise maybe would be able to afford some things that are rather expensive. For example, the Lecterm journals are like 30 something bucks or something, and now they have plenty of dupes that are closer to $20 or $15 or even just 10. Like there's a lot more affordable options for journals that I think people really love to use and really serves a purpose in their life. I especially love that I think with the rise of journaling, there's also been more appreciation for small shops, because a lot of artists happen to start off with stationery goods or stickers because they're some of the easiest things to manufacture or just create yourself. So it's great that small shops are for sure getting a rise in sales, I'm sure, as more people buy stationery goods, especially for these kind of like super niche movies or characters or whatever. Now they're really meeting their audience, the people who would want to have that thing. So that's great to hear. But like literally anything else, a lot of people begin to get obsessed with buying more than using their product. And I think this also takes some of the joy out of having things, because it becomes about buying things. There's always going to be something newer or cooler or different that's just being released, and more importantly, something you don't have. So you can build it up and want it and then get it, and the cycle continues on. So you're never really happy with what you have, and you're constantly looking for the newest thing. And I'm not necessarily the most conscientious person for all that I've said. I spend more money than I need to, but I'm also pretty socially and environmentally aware despite this. And despite how well aware I am of overconsumption and the negative effects it has on the world and the people in it, I'm still shocked at how much I can want things when I have more than enough to be happy. And a lot of times I know this. But then again, a trend comes along and all of a sudden I need that thing and I'm like coveting that thing in a way that again is human. I'm not trying to demonize that feeling or make it seem like it's not something that regular, everyday, good people feel. But I also feel like it's something that a lot of people indulge in when they probably would be better off not. And this doesn't have to be just about journaling products. Genuinely, I think this is just something that has been happening with everything we buy. Anything that people collect, anything that people can kind of indulge in, from crocheting to sewing to any other little hobby. It's just something where more people are consuming rather than using or trying to innovate with what they already have. I think that it's just because I think my generation, Americans, whatever you want to say, a lot of people have been basically bombarded with their ads their entire lives. And I think that this kind of maybe sometimes feels like you're missing something in yourself. Like there's an anxiety that can only be fulfilled by buying things instead of having things. And I think this is something that a lot of people indulge in. But again, this is trying to fix a missing piece that people either aren't missing or isn't really going to be filled by a physical thing that you can buy. It's something deeper than that. And again, I think this is something that applies to people who, like everybody who overindulges and overbuys a lot of physical things they don't need only to not be happy with it, which can apply to journaling, but a lot of other things. I think the closest thing to a solution I can try to implement in my life and recommend for anybody else that's trying to, I guess, kind of get over this feeling is to appreciate what we already have and see what we can do with what we've bought that forces us to use the tape and the journals and the supplies and stickers we already have and consider alternative to buying things, or even better, buying secondhand. I think in terms of level, it's totally okay to buy things new. Like, I'm not the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to buying things. I buy physical things that are not necessities all of the time. But I am saying that the amount of people that could build a house with the amount of brand new washi tape, pens, and journals they have and are still planning on buying more is only growing. And you might be closer to descending into that person than you think. But buying things is okay. I will continue to buy cute stationery as a treat to myself. But in many ways that we can reasonably buy small and make our own things and use what we do buy to the fullest extent as average everyday consumers is something worthwhile in pursuing, both on a broader don't feed into corrupt corporations way that hurt our environment, no matter how futile it might seem at times, and on an individual it's better for your own mental and financial benefit type of way, even if it takes a while to feel the contentment or joy that comes from just not wanting so many things at one time.